Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. Special double header tonight of Mike's Instant Movie Review. I'm going to have to dim the light. Fantastic. Now, some of you people that are not used to these Mike's Instant Movie Reviews, I don't appreciate your goddamn comments about how I'm doing these things. I see the movies and then I immediately do these reviews. So if that's above your comprehension, I'm sorry, but you're an idiot. So let's talk about the movies I've seen. The first one was called To the End, political documentary about AOC and others, mostly women based. A lot of 2020 and post stuff. AOC and others are trying to do this new green bill act, trying to get through that through to Biden and so forth and get it approved. And of course, there's always compromise and all that good stuff we know about politics. This is a follow-up to a movie, a doc, a couple of years ago that I watched during the height of the pandemic on television on some type of Amazon Prime, kind of about the AOC becoming a political candidate after being a bartendress for at the time, and so on and so forth. So I found this movie, this new one. I watched that one at the time, and I watched this one. And look, this one isn't all about AOC. There's some other young women doing big things. I think it's called the Sunrise Movement. These environmentalist kids, they're very active. They're very passionate. At times I wish they'd smile a little bit more. These kids go on a hunger strike at one point, and they look pretty miserable. But hey, they're fighting for the environment on the levels that I never have. I mean, I make a point to recycle my plastic bottles at Wawa a couple of times a week, okay? I don't just throw my plastic bottles and bottle caps into the trash can. You're supposed to take off the bottle cap and the wrappings, the papers, by the way, off the side of the bottles, and you're supposed to put them in recycling bins. And some people just throw them in the goddamn trash, but at least I try, okay? You know, but hey, look, these kids, they're fighting for their world, so what do you want? Was the movie good? Yeah, the movie was pretty good. I mean, my attention waned towards the end a little bit, but it came back. I will admit, look, I know she's not perfect, but this, am I saying her name correctly? Alexandria or Tasia Cortez. She's quite attractive, okay? I mean, did you see that thing where she was dancing in college to the fucking Breakfast Club thing or whatever the fuck? I think she's physically attractive, and I like when she gets all like smart and stuff because she's kind of sexy, you know. But I liked the fucking movie; it was fine. But this movie that I saw tonight, I would probably put it much higher as in terms of my personal enjoyment, just for a number of factors. Loudmouth, documentary about the Reverend Al Sharpton. It's in my opinion, a very pro Reverend Al piece. There's some criticism in the early moments of Reverend Al, but then it kind of becomes a very pro Al movie. There's not a whole lot of give back on Al. It's through his own words. You know, he kind of does a direct-to-camera interview, and then there's a lot of footage. What I liked about this movie was the use of footage from the 80s and 90s. Some cases, the Howard Beach case, and other cases, I don't want to say the young lady's name incorrectly, famous rape accusation case. Tamara, I think was the name of the woman. But yeah, a lot of old footage and some newer footage. They don't really go into Al's transformative weight loss, which is, I think that could have been an issue that was worthy of 5 or 10 minutes, unless I blanked out. I mean, I didn't think they talked about it. I mean, they mentioned it in passing, but I think it is pretty remarkable that the guy who, in his early days, was kind of just known as being this kind of roundular figure, you know, big bulky guy, kind of short, but just he did have a somewhat miraculous body transformation kind of later in life. They don't really talk about it, like how or why he lost all that weight. Was he at immediate health? But I mean, he's got a pretty stressful gig being a civil rights advocate. And I kind of like the movie. I mean, he kind of gives credit, I believe, to Martin Luther King Jr.'s widow for kind of, giving him kind of a mid-career pep talk or whatever the fuck. That kind of, well, I mean, see the fucking movie if you want. I mean, I can't give away everything. But I did like this movie. I did like the kind of storytelling of situations from 30, 40 years ago mixed with current situations and so on and so forth. I didn't know that Al had all these, Reverend Al, had all these relationships with James Brown, even was palling around with Muhammad Ali, for crying out loud. So I liked the movie. I thought it was a good movie. A friend of mine, Tommy DiNucci, is celebrating his recent directorial film, My Father Muhammad Ali, which is about the son of Muhammad Ali. Maybe you didn't even know he had one. So all these wonderful things. I mean, there are just some people that make such an impression on the world that their footsteps are walked in for generations. The repercussions of their actions outlive them in body. So that's it. So of the two, I do think, for me personally, I enjoyed the Reverend Al movie more. But they were both good. I had a week of political documentaries in the movie theater. Tomorrow night I'll be watching Mixed Martial Arts, UFC, whatever the fuck number it is, on the big screen. I mean, they do all these... I guess they number the pay-per-views, and then between the fight nights and every fucking thing else, it's like, I don't know if they got their numerology for all these events, but in any event, I'll be watching the pay-per-view. I did a nice commentary today for all the pro wrestling fans out there. I discussed William Regal leaving AEW and my personal thoughts about it. You can watch that or not. For the non-wrestling fans, you have plenty of material to watch. You could all buy my goddamned books, for Christ's sake. Go to MikeMessier.com, scroll to the bottom, pick your book of choice, and fucking order it. So that's it, folks. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel.